Hey everybody, good morning. So I am out here at sunrise enjoying a little off-roading here through the desert. But today we are going to talk about a topic that was requested by you, the community. We're going to talk about drone photography.
Drones. With the continual increase in the number of drones the average consumer can purchase, drone photography is becoming more and more common. I personally take a drone wherever I go. I mostly use my drone to enhance the visuals of this channel. A drone allows you to fly. The ability to float in places that is not possible. To hurl yourself into the open air without fear of falling. My drone allows me to give you a sense of the environment that I'm in, to give you a perspective on where I'm exploring, and to let you be part of the moment.
Well, everybody, good morning. So back out here in the Sonoran Desert doing a little off-roading today. But like I said, I had a question pop up on our community channel about talking about drone photography. And yes, I do drone photography. I do make money off of drone photography. So sure, let's have a little chat about that. So something that you need to know about drone photography is that, first of all, let's just be clear on this. This is not a toy. This is an aircraft. So I would say the first thing you need to know about drone photography is that you just can't fly anywhere that you want to. Now out here in the middle of the American Southwest, we have vast areas that we're allowed to fly our drones, but you still need to be careful. So I would say before you even start, before you even let this thing take off and take those photographs, you need to check to see if you can legally fly. So I use an app called AirMap. And AirMap, what they do, they will, write this down. AirMap will let you see where you're at and also alert you if there's any flight restrictions. So places where there's definitely going to be flight restrictions are going to be, of course, around airports, around any military or government installation. All national parks are also off limits as well. And then also you need to look out for wilderness areas. So the reason why I try to really emphasize flying legally is because when you see people who are standing right beside "this is a no drone flying zone" sign and they're taking off, those are the people who are making it harder for the rest of us. Because when they keep violating the rules get more and more restrictive. So there are plenty of places that you can fly that you're not going to violate any laws. Make sure you're flying legally. Also look around, see if there's any other drone pilots around. If there are, approach them, talk with them, find out where they're flying so you guys can keep your aircraft separated from each other. Let me tell you, taking images from a drone is a whole new perspective. It's like having a giant tripod, but you need to be careful with it. Now also making sure your drone is ready to go when you're ready to fly is safety, because you are responsible if this thing comes out of the sky. Now another thing I like to do is store my drone in its backpack without the battery or the propellers. You see, the batteries, you can't put those in the cargo hold of a plane. I don't know why I'm going to be separated from my backpack because of a small plane. So I actually have a container in the top of my backpack where all of my batteries go while I'm flying. So that all you have to do is reach and grab it, and then I can board the plane and put the backpack in the cargo hold. The other thing is these propellers. I don't like storing my drone with the propellers on, because you don't know when it's gonna sit funny or something's gonna press against the bag, or while you're hiking with it. If you put any stress on these propellers, that stress gets transferred to your engines and could wear them out. So I like to keep the propellers off. All right, so when you're ready to fly, don't forget right here, that lens. give it a little wipe with a microfiber cloth so you don't have any glare or dust on your images. All right, time to fly. So if you look carefully, behind me are a lot of hot air balloons. I'm counting, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. There's 12 hot air balloons surrounding me right now. So make sure you check out the sky before you take off. Now I know this is a lot to do before you take those pictures. It's because, again, you're responsible for this drone and what it does. So you want to make sure you're safe and protect yourself and protect the other people who are around you. All right, once you take your drone off, well, you need to get it to some place where it's got some interesting images. So what you're looking for, of course, are the rules of photography. The rules of composition still apply even when you have a drone. Yes, a drone is a very cool thing, but when it's up in the air, you still have to compose the images. So I'm along this dirt road right now, and I'll be honest with you, I've never flown in this area, so it's going to be kind of an interesting thing for me as well. Since I've never flown up here, I'm hoping that this dirt road is going to provide a leading line. Now that's one of the rules of composition in photography, is a leading line. Now I've got 3 batteries with me. I have about a total flight time of about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes with my batteries. So I do have time to compose images, but I like to have some sort of an idea of what I am going to photograph before I take off, particularly if I'm out hiking or if I'm in some remote location where I can't recharge my batteries. Now even with the Jeep here, I can't charge my batteries quickly. It takes about, what, 30 to 45 minutes at least to charge just a single battery. So I do have to practice a little bit of energy conservation when it comes to how much I fly and where I fly, so that I always have a charged battery with me at all times. So let's go ahead and launch this thing and take some images. All right, here we go. I'm just looking around right now, and I am very much aware that there are some hot air balloons up here that are probably within the 400-foot height limit I have on the drone. I'm going to be keeping the drone very close to the ground here because of that. And now I'm just looking around, and not really seeing too many good leading lines.
Unfortunately, this area really is not that photogenic, so I'm showing you a recording I made on my controller from an earlier episode. So what you should notice is I've got my grid lines turned on. Now, when you're following the rules of photography, the rule of thirds, that means that you're going to place your image's subject on one of those intersecting lines, and that makes it more visually appealing for the viewer.
Let's talk a little bit about the types of images I really like to do with my drone, and that is a panorama. Now with the panorama, what we would normally do with our cameras is that we would actually tilt them on the side to give more resolution vertically, and then we would take pictures with our horizontally on our tripod. Well, here on this drone, I don't have the ability to tilt the camera sideways. So what I have to do is I actually will position the drone camera and take pictures on one level, tilt the camera up, take another, and possibly tilt the camera up again to take another set. So on each grid line, what I can do is I use it to determine how far to move the camera. So right now, I've got the camera angled down, and I'm going to go ahead and take a series of pictures. So here we go. Now, I'm going to turn on manual focus, and I'm going to focus the camera, get to a place where I can focus. There we go. All right. That way, as I move the camera around, the focus doesn't change, and whenever the focus changes, it has a small little zoom. The image actually breathes, so to speak, when you change your image. So you have to be careful with that. All right, let's take our first set of images. We're going to do 4 across here. So here it is. There's one. And now I'm going to slowly move the camera. And I'm taking a look at where the right-hand grid line is, and I'm going to move the drone until whatever is in the right-hand grid line is now on the left. All right, so we have an aircraft in the area, but it is nowhere near my altitude and about a half-mile away, so we're gonna be just fine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move. All right, now, I've got the bottom layer. I'm going to shift the camera up, and I'm looking at the top grid line, and I'm going to move the camera until the bottom grid line is where the top grid line is at.
So this is what it looked like when I took my different images. So again, I started off on one side of the image I wanted to capture for a panorama and just move the drone slowly over, taking pictures as I go. I had to take both a bottom layer and a top layer, and then in Lightroom, all I had to do was merge them together.
Now every once in a while you are going to notice that I do have the drone flying outside the Jeep to kind of give my viewers the perspective of where I'm at. So a few things you need to know about that is that you still have to stay in control of your drone. Now the drone's not up right now. The reason being is that I'm traveling through an area that's actually controlled airspace. There's an airport a few miles from here and we're passing on the outer edge of the controlled airspace, so I'm going to keep the drone down on the ground right now.
In the end, to take really great drone photography, you do need a great place to take it. That's why I didn't use any images from this morning, because this location, once I put the drone up, really wasn't that great. Remember to apply the rules of composition when it comes to photography, and your drone images are going to be incredible. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to click that subscribe button. If you want to support this channel further, check out patreon.com/EWJ to see all the bonus content that I offer to my patrons. Remember to never stop exploring, and I'll see you all in the next episode.